Hello there, friends. My name is Rachel GNS Middle. This is Dan GNS Cavendish. And
when do I take your middle name?
We'll talk about it later.
Fine.
Gilbert and Sullivan is our middle name, and our middle names are our last name. That doesn't actually work.
I don't think that works for us. Good try.
It only works for me.
Excellent try.
We are here today on behalf of Forbear Theatre to explore the magic of the Gilbert and Sullivan operas by very pedantically ranking every element of them. This is probably the most pedantic list I've made so far. But before we get into that, just a quick reminder that we'd be very grateful for any donations you have for Forbear Theatre. Just have a look at the last video I made if you want to know a little bit more about what we're doing next year, but there will be announcements forthcoming. And also, please subscribe to the channel and share these videos. What?
I said, oh yes, do that.
Yeah, do that.
Well, I didn't say it, I mouthed it.
Yeah.
In the hoping that people out there can lip read. Can they? Can they lip read?
You tell me,
I don't know.
people out there.
Hopefully.
Anyway, today we are talking about the best roles in the Gilbert and Sullivan operas. This is very different to characters because I mean, I can give you a couple of examples off the bat. There are characters like maybe the bottom maid in the Mikado, which like, they're not like amazing, like she's not an amazing character, but she's a fantastic role to play. And I think there are some more like that as well. Maybe in Gondoliers, like Gianetta and Tessa. Like amazing roles. Are they great characters? Not really. So it is a very different category. We do have some very different winners and people at the top. But let me tell you how difficult this was to do. So when I initially intuitively ranked all my roles together by putting every category alongside each other, then taking one, taking another one, taking that one. I did that, and that took me a million hours. And then I gave them all a grade, and then I lined them all up underneath each opera. Then I took the average of each grade to get an average mark for the opera. And now I was all proud of myself. And then I did the ranking, and then Ruddigore came like dead last by a long way. And the thing is, I'm not one to like, I have no preconceptions, but then I do kind of imagine that Ruddigore, when it comes to roles, it should probably come higher than last place. And it was because I was ranking all these roles as if they were equal. So that meant that because Ruddigore has like 12 ghosts, it meant it drew down the average like by a ton. So what I did was I actually I'm ranking these roles in 4 different categories. So I have background roles, and that is people who either they're completely silent or they do have material, but their character does not at all like affect the story. It may be very tenuously, like something they say has some connection to a character, but they are not emotionally invested.
The NPCs.
Exactly. And then I have the second category is background roles that have an emotional connection to the story. So a good example of these background roles that have an emotional connection to the story, Edith. She's a good one because she is just as distressed as Mabel and the others are for getting kidnapped by pirates, but she's not really a big part and doesn't really have much dialogue that really contributes to the story. However, our next category is supporting roles, and that's those parts that you couldn't really call them a leading role, but they're definitely part of the story. They just might not be the heart of it. Like, they might not have like a really strong emotional connection to it, but they are there. You can't really call them a background character. They are most certainly a supporting role. And then, of course, we have the leading role. And what I've done is, in each of these categories, I've ranked every opera, so I can rattle those off quite quickly, but then I'm going to give awards to the best 3 traditionally female roles and the best 3 traditionally male roles. I am now, from now on, not going to say traditionally anymore, but I always mean it, because I believe in cross-gendered casting. I believe in anyone playing any role they want to play, but from now on for the rest of this video, if I say male and female, I mean traditionally played by a male or traditionally played by a female.
It's an awful lot of syllables.
So I'm just going to say male and female from now on, but you know in your hearts that I do not mean that. So FYI. And I also, so here's another, so I told Dan that I wanted him to help me out with this video, but since then I realised something really alarming. The top 3, yeah, it is alarming. No, it is. The top 3 roles in every single category are all male roles. So 12 roles are all male.
Whoa.
So I decided, well, I have to do the females as well. So I've done that also. But just so you know, all of the females in each category rank beneath all of the male roles. And that is sad. And it's a poor show, Gilbert, really. Having said that, I do think that Gilbert did write better female roles than I think a lot of playwrights did. Shakespeare also wrote great female roles, but again, not as good as his male roles. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so that's the introduction over with, and let's get started with background roles. Last place came Iolanthe. I think that's because Iolanthe didn't have any background roles, so it becomes automatically 14th place. Then Ruddigore is in 13th place. There are just so many of those lower ranking ghosts that only have a couple of lines. 12th place is HMS Pinafore. One has done pretty well, which is the Carpenter. Even though he's not a great role at all, he does sing as part of a really awesome trio. However, Pinafore also boasts a Sergeant of Marines and the midshipmate that do pretty much nothing. In 11th place, we have the Pirates of Penzance. James was the one that brought that down, so you can thank James for that. Princess Ida, we just have a couple of those very small parts in Princess Ida that don't really have too much to do. Trial by Jury, there's two parts in Trial by Jury that both did kind of, reasonably well. We have the Associate and First Bridesmaid. They're silent parts, but they're kind of quite fun silent parts, so they ranked a little bit higher than some of these other ones. In 8th place, we have the Yeoman of the Guard. There's really quite a lot of these small parts in Yeoman, like First Citizen, Second Citizen, First Yeoman, Second Yeoman. None of them did particularly badly. Maybe the worst one was the Headsman, who doesn't say anything, but he is certainly in there. Number 7, we have Utopia Limited. There's some really quite fun little roles in Utopia. I think it's less the actual material they have as soloists and more just that they are in such a fun chorus. So that's a good one to be in. Number 6 is Patience. There's only one of these parts in Patience, and that's the solicitor. And he actually gets quite a prominent role in that Act 1 finale. So well done him. The Grand Duke, we have 4 of them. The Duke of Riviera, Viscount Mentoni, or Viscount Mentone, and Martha in this category here. You could argue that I included Gretchen, Olga, Bertha, Elsa in the next category. I've said they do have an emotional connection to the story. Arguably, you could probably say Martha has as well, but she just has the one line. So I think automatically, because of the little amount of material she had, I just put her in this category. But, Grand Duke's roles, they're quite decent. In 4th place is the Mikado. There's only one of these roles in the Mikado, and that is the one that says the one line and is sometimes in the madrigal. And he has that quite funny line that's, by all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves. And that is good. The Gondoliers then comes in 3rd place. The Gondoliers has a plethora of really quite fun little roles. And then number 2 is the Sorcerer. Now, what's interesting is I actually forgot about Hercules, but I don't think it would have changed its ranking because I think I would have put it in a very similar place to the Notary in the Sorcerer, because Hercules just has those couple of lines, but they are quite funny lines. He's in his tent, sir. Refreshing. So I don't think it would have changed Sorcerer's ranking in this category. But here's the big surprise. So, in 1st place for background roles is Thespis. Hooray! Dan, Thespis won something.
What?
Thespis won background roles. Thespis has the best background roles in the operas. Isn't that fun? Isn't that something that's nice? So it's all these mortals that just have these great things to do. Stupidass, Simon, and Prettier. Like, those are the 3 background roles that I thought didn't really have much of an emotional connection to the story. And even though they do say a little bit, but their material is so small that they didn't really deserve to be bumped up to the next category. But those are some fantastic roles. And none of them actually made it into the top 3 because there are just these odd ones that just happen to do better in other operas. But Thespis does have really quite overwhelmingly like the highest average of any of these operas. So well done, Thespis. Isn't that nice? Dan,
Yes.
Do you want to announce the female awards? And I'll do them because I know what they are.
Oh, all right then.
let's just say that this is an award.
Okay, this is an award.
It's the Coke Zero bottle
The Coke Zero Bottle Award, which is, I believe, the third place award.
Yes, this is the third place.
Vittoria! Come on up here, Vittoria.
I mean, I came here at the risk of my life to get this trophy.
She did.
But I'm very happy. I'd like to thank Julia, who's also in the same show, for not having quite as big of a part as she did, even though her line might have been slightly more interesting. But thank you. That's
You're
what
very
it
welcome.
is.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Off you go back into hiding. Hiding's that way. Never mind. Second place award, which is the terracotta cup of Glühwein. I believe this belongs to Fila. Yep. All yours, Fila. There you go.
I was just distracted by the songs of birds in ivory towers.
That is a feature of your character, yes.
And the rippling play of waterway. I am in such lazy languor. I'm going to go have a nap.
Good idea. I'd quite like to do that too. Number 1. The empty San Pellegrino can of grapefruit flavour. The best traditionally female background role in all of GNS. It's Fiammetta! It's Fiammetta! There she is! Here you are, my darling. There you go.
For that. Again, I also came here at the risk of my life, but I also have a lot to say about there being 24 of us and 2 of the guys.
That's true.
Which, interestingly enough, I think that Rachel GNS Middle, when she first heard that lyric, she thought it meant that the ladies were all 24 years old and that Marco and Giuseppe were 2 years old. And I was confused, and she, or rather I should say, and she was then subsequently confused for the rest of the opera because they clearly were not 2. But thank you.
You're welcome.
For this. I'll treasure this.
All right, a lot of fugitives tonight.
So, in third place for the best male background roles is the second yeoman from Yeoman of the Guard. And here he is now to accept the third place Coke Zero bottle.
Well, it's about time I get some recognition, you know. It's a very important job that I do, but I must be back to my post. Thank you.
That's all we're going to get from the second yeoman. But in second place for the best male background role in Gilbert and Sullivan, we have, from the Gondoliers, Antonio!
Well, oh, look at that! I've got myself another drinking cup. You know what? I do love a bit of wine, so this will be coming in very handy. Thank you very much!
Wow, he was a merry fellow. And in first place, and you know which one this is, in first place we have, from the Grand Dukes, this is the best male background role of all of Gilbert and Sullivan, is the Herald. Here he is.
Merci beaucoup, mon petit souffleur.
Is it
It's not quite in shot.
No, you're not quite in shot.
Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube.
Do you find your life difficult, like always introducing people and never getting introduced yourself?
I never thought of it that way. I must have a thought process of my entire life now. But thank you anyway.
So, the next section is background roles that have an emotional connection to the story. Dan, can you think of a snappier name for that? Background roles with an emotional connection to the story.
Important props.
And last place for this category we have HMS Pinafore, and that is because there are none of these characters in HMS Pinafore.
Aww.
And last and 13th place we have the Grand Duke. This is where Gretchen, Olga, Bertha, Elsa all ended up. I think they're fantastic roles, but there's just a lot that are better than them. And in 12th place, we have the Sorcerer. There's only one of these roles, and that goes to the very deaf old man. So yeah, not a terribly strong showing from the Sorcerer in this category. In 10th place, we have Thespis, and actually Thespis has got some really decent roles in this section. We have Preposterous, we have Tipsion, we've also got Timidon, and we've also got Silamon. There are some really great roles from Thespis in this category. In 9th place, we have the Gondoliers. There's only one role in this category, and that is Inez, but For only appearing right at the very end, she does very well. In 8th place, we have Utopia Limited. All these parts appeared very close together. We have Sir Bailey Barr, Sir Blushington, and Captain Corcoran, the Utopia version. So those three, they're all the flowers of progress that don't really get to be in any other part of the show. But yeah, still they are decent roles, and they get to be in Society as Quite Forsaken, which is not too shabby. In 7th place, we have Ruddigore. There is only one Ruddigore character in this category, and that one is Zora. I think Zora is a pretty fabulous role. She doesn't get to do too much, but what she does do is very fun, and she gets to lead the bridesmaids, which is very nice. In 6th place, we have Trial by Jury. There are a couple of roles in this category. One did pretty well, one didn't do so well. The foreman of the jury, he didn't do fantastically well, but who did do really well is one that I'm going to talk about when I give out the awards. In 5th place, we have Iolanthe. There are actually quite a few roles from Iolanthe in this list, and 2 of them are award winners, so I am not going to spoil that for you. And in 4th place, we have Patience. Again, several roles from Patience in this category, all very strong. Number 3, we have the Pirates of Penzance. Edith is in this category, along with Kate and Samuel. All really fantastic roles there from Pirates. And in 2nd place, we have Princess Ida. Now, this surprised me, but Ida does actually have some really good, proper background roles with an emotional connection to the story. Doing not so well, we have Saccharissa. She's not a particularly important one, though Joanna Brabs would disagree with me there. We also have Cynthius and Guron. They are great parts. They have a lot of really fantastic material. And we've also got one more that has done very well indeed. But in 1st place, it is the Mikado. The Mikado only has 2 roles in this category. One is the middle maid, and one won an award.
I'm coming.
So it's Coke first.
Oh no, I think we should have new ones.
What do you think? Okay,
I think
fine.
we should have new ones for the new level. Okay, here we go, folks. For 3rd place, for background characters with emotional connection to the story, or feelybacks, as I have just named them, #feelybacks, the Little Bottle of Lemon Juice Award. It's Sapphire's! Come here, Saphire! Here,
That's Lady Sophia to you.
Forgive me.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
We thank you for this boon.
Truly, truly inspiring. Right. The 2nd place award for feelybacks, which I believe is a jar of ragu. Which, let's face it, who can't get behind a jar of ragu? Today, this goes to Celia! Oh, and she's flying in. Okay, fair enough. Hello, Celia.
I am currently behind this jar of ragu.
Yes, you are. Very clearly.
That literally. But also, I am happy that I am now... The trouble is, I don't know which line she says and what the other one says.
Well,
but I'm very happy to be a fairy, so thank you for this.
One must not forget your lines, especially in the business of opera. And here we are. The half-used packet of foil award. It is so coveted that it has literally kept us alive for the last 2 months. And today I am passing it over to Layla. Layla, get up here. There she is.
Here I am. No, I know that out of these 2, I'm a little bit more of the hippie fairy, so I just want to say peace out to everyone. Keep on loving. I love it when people love. It literally helps me stay alive when people fall in love.
It
I
does.
live on lover. That's what we do. Yeah, we as fairies, we live on lover.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Oh.
So the male feelybacks, is that feelybacks?
Feelybacks.
I like that. That's really good. Now, in 3rd place, we have from Trial by Jury, the Usher.
Silence!
But where specifically?
Stop! Thank you.
In second place and winning this jar of ragu, he can share it with Celia, is the auxiliary baritone from the Mikado.
Oh, isn't that a nice thing? Look at that.
And thanks for all the great storytelling and the information that you impart.
You know what? You are welcome. When I was young, people always used to call me the expositioner because I would just spill what anyone needed to hear at any one time, and that's all I would ever do. But, jar of ragu. I appreciate. Thank you.
And sharing the half-empty box of aluminium foil with Layla, we have, from Princess Ida, Arac.
Ah! Yes. Look at this. Yes, this will be a fine replacement for the armour. Look at that. So light. I should be able to fight in this, no problem. Thank you very much, strange lady.
More than I thought it would. The next category is supporting roles. To sum up again, these are characters that are definitely more than background. They contribute to the story, but they're not really like a proper full part of the main story. They're mostly just supporting the leading characters. And that is very important and is something that I like to do. But the question is, which opera has the worst supporting roles? And that one, sadly, we are back to having Thespis in last place after its experience flying high at the top. I know! Isn't that a shame?
It is.
And in 13th place we have HMS Pinafore. Now Pinafore is not done too well in these lists really, because even though it contains two of, I think, the best roles in the canon, sadly it just does not match up to some of the other ones. Number 12 is Radigor. Radigor has some good supporting roles, but I'd say Radigor's strengths are in its leading roles. In number 11th place, we have Princess Ida. Again, Ida suffers from having maybe quite a few underwhelming roles that bring the average down. In 10th place, we have Utopia Limited. Again, there's not too many supporting roles in Utopia Limited, but the ones there are pretty good. In 9th place, we have The Sorcerer. There are quite a few supporting roles in The Sorcerer. Notably, Dr. Daly. I wouldn't consider him like an actual lead. I'd say he is a supporting character, and he is a fantastic one. Number 8, we have the Grand Duke. And that the Grand Duke does have quite a few in there. We have Ernest, we have Lisa, and one that won an award, which I will not mention. We also have Yeoman of the Guard in 7th place. Yeoman is another one that doesn't have such great supporting characters, I'd say, but its leading characters are very good indeed. But that is with an exception that has done extremely well on this list. Number 6, we have Iolanthe. Now, this is a category that Tallulah and Mantara ended up in, so it's a really good category, and I think Iolanthe should be very proud of itself. And number 5, we have Trial. Only one character from Trial made it in, and that is the Council, but because the Council really truly does have, I think, quite a strong supporting role, as opposed to the Usher, who tends to fade a little bit into obscurity apart from his motif. But the Council really does have like a strong emotional connection to Angelina's journey, so I did put her in this category, or him. I played her, so I call her her. In 4th place, we have the Gondoliers, and the Gondoliers does have quite a few really fun characters. The Duke, the Duchess, Lewis, Casilda, I put them all in this category. In 3rd place, we have Patience. Lady Angela and the Colonel made it into this category, as well as one other one as well. In 2nd place, we have the Pirates of Penzance. Only one character made it into this category, and that is the Sergeant, but I love him, so Pirates came 2nd place. But 1st place, again, is the Mikado, and that is because the Mikado has 2 characters that have won awards in this category, and I think we should get into those awards right now.
We are back, ladies, gentlemen, and variations, to the supporting roles section. And here we have a beautiful glove with fancy little patterns on it as the 3rd place award, which is going to actually one of my favourite supporting characters. I'm glad she got in on this. It's Dame Hannah! Come on!
Oh, you have begun bravely! Bravely indeed!
I just want to give you a glove, please do not stab me with a poniard.
Why are you giving me a single glove?
I don't know, it's just the award.
So I went through losing my fiancé on my wedding day to receiving a glove. Well, thank you very much, young man.
You got him back, eventually. Honestly, some people never satisfied. They're never satisfied. Second place award. And if you've come second place in this list, I understand you might feel a bit congested. So we have nasal spray as the second place award. And it goes to the bottom maid in the Mikado. Where is she? There. Oh, look at that. There you are, my dear.
Bless you. It all depends.
Well, bless you indeed.
There's a popular impression to that effect.
Are we just quoting lines? Good. Fabulous. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know
we
anymore.
can wait until then.
Now, this hairbrush is very important. For one thing, it's very valuable, so I'm told repeatedly. And it is going to a very special lady. It is going to a baroness, no less. The Baroness von Krakenfeld. Where is she? Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Now, my darling.
Yes.
I understand that you haven't produced an award show before.
No.
And for a first timer, you're doing admirably.
Thank you.
It's very difficult to be an award presenter when one isn't born to it.
It is, yes. I agree. I'm not sure how to feel right now.
In third place, for Best Supporting Male Role, we have, from Patience, the Duke of Dunstable, winning this glove.
Hello.
Hello.
Everyone. Is that for me?
Yes, it's not toffee, I'm afraid.
No, I was hoping for toffee. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping for some toffee.
But I thought you'd had too much toffee yesterday, and toffee in moderation is a capital thing.
There is such a thing as too much toffee, as I relegate on regularly in my fares. But thank you. I'm sure I can find some use for this. Maybe I have a cold octopus with half its legs missing or something.
In second place, and receiving this nasal spray. This is what everyone does in those influencer videos to show you products. There we go. Nazivin, which saved me last week because I had a horrible rhinitis attack. But I'm now handing that over to one of my favourite characters in the canon, Wilfred from The Omen of the Guard.
Oh, hello. Are you my 4 o'clock? All right, you stand perfectly still. All right,
no.
you're gonna feel a little pinch. Okay, we're just
Okay.
gonna gently dislocate all the bones in your. Oh no, you're supposed to feel that. That's. Oh, thank you very much. I've been feeling very congested lately.
In first place for the best male supporting role, we have, I think, a number of people's very favourite. From the Mikado is the Lord High Everything Else.
Good day, everybody. Lovely to see you all. Excluding, of course, little girls. I do not deign myself to speak to them. I magnanimously and humbly accept this highly pedantic and questionable award. But I do it. It revolts me. But I do it. Oh, sorry, I'm in shock.
We're now
No!
we are now moving on to the leading roles. And this is the one that we all care about a lot. This is going to vary a little bit from the best ensemble of characters, but it won't be, I think, too far off. But in 14th place, I'm afraid, again, is Thespis. We've already talked about these main characters, but Thespis does have the lowest ranking lead characters of all of them. In 13th place, we have Trial by Jury. Again, these characters just don't have maybe the best material because the opera is so short. So I think if you're choosing a role to play, you may just ignore Trial because it doesn't really have as much material in it. In 12th place, we have HMS Pinafore. Even though Pinafore has 2 of the absolute best leading characters in the canon, Rafe and Josephine, some of his other characters are maybe not so interesting. We got Little Buttercup, whose material isn't so amazing. We have the Captain and Sir Joseph Porter, who have pretty good material, but it doesn't really rival some of the more intricate patter roles, Sir Joseph, and there's certainly more interesting baritones with better material than Captain Corcoran. In 11th place, we have Princess Ida. Again, even though Hilarion and Princess Ida did very well on this list, there are also a couple that didn't do so well. In 99th place, we have Hildebrand. I don't really find him a particularly engaging character, and he has comparatively little material when you think of some of these other more exciting baritone roles. In 10th place, we have the Gondoliers. As I was saying earlier, even though I think these are really great roles, character does kind of play a part in these lists, and they did, and the fact that they don't really have much relatability, these characters did kind of bring their average down a little bit. In 9th place, we have the Pirates of Penzance. We do have some awesome characters. We got Frederick and Mablestone, characters that have done really well on this list, but I don't think they have quite the depth of character that a lot of these other characters above them have. In 8th place, we have Utopia Limited. I think this has some really fantastic characters in it, especially the King, Scaphio and Phantis. We do have Zara, who was amazing, but remember, she doesn't have that much material, I think, compared to a lot of these lead sopranos. She doesn't have her own aria. That is until Will wrote me one, which I was appreciative of. In 7th place, we have the Sorcerer. Aline and Alexis and John Wellington Wells, and they are all fantastic roles, and I would love to play all three of them someday. I have not played any of them yet. In 6th place, we have Iolanthe. I think that maybe Strephon and Phyllis are not the best roles in terms of character, or indeed Iolanthe, but the Lord Chancellor is so good that he actually brought the average way up. In 5th place, we have Patience. As I've been saying, I think Patience has a bit of a funny narrative arc towards the end there, but I do absolutely love her. She has fantastic material, so maybe not the best character, but amazing material that she has. And of course, let's not forget Bunthorne and Grosvenor. What cracking parts. I absolutely adore them. In 4th place, we have the Yeomen of the Guard. Remember, we have Elsie, we got Phoebe, we got Jack Point, and we got Colonel Fairfax. All these parts are so good. They're definitely leading roles, and I can definitely see why Yeoman came so highly in this list. In 3rd place, we have the Grand Duke. The Grand Duke did particularly well because I was forced to put a lot of its characters in the supporting role category, like Lisa and Ernest. I couldn't really call them leading roles. So that meant there are only 3 characters that I could really put in this category: Ludwig, Julia, and Rudolph. I consider all the others to be supporting or less, but they did bring the average up. And I think that Ludwig and Julia especially have between them some of the absolute best material in the canon. They're really strong roles with a lot to do. In 2nd place, we have Ruddigore. A lot of Ruddigore's characters did very, very well on this list. I think even when it comes to Despard and Margaret, even though their parts are comparatively small, the material they do get is really, really good. And in 1st place, again, we have the Mikado. The Mikado has won 3 of these lists, but only just actually. In all 3 instances, Mikado was very close to the next one in line. So it was really close to Ruddigore here. It was very close to Pirates in the last time, and there was actually a little bit of a gap between Mikado and Ida in the Feely Backies. What is it? Feelybacks. But certainly Mikado has come first in these 3 categories, but it had some very stiff competition, especially in this last category where Ruddigore was very close to it. So we now move on to the awards.
Here we are again with the leading roles. And we are beginning, of course, with 3rd place, which is a beautiful sachet of ginger tea. Just the sort of thing a performer needs for her voice. Which is why this lovely sachet of tea is going straight into the lovely hands of Miss Julia Jellicoe.
Ah, danke schön.
You are welcome, my dear.
I never meant to bitte. So, I did not come in 1st place.
I wasn't the one who made this ranking.
I only came in 3rd place.
Consider it a
What
roll.
do you expect me to do with this information?
Well, you've got nice ginger tea now.
That is true. Ingwer-Tee.
Yeah.
Ich liebe Ingwer-Tee.
Good, I'm glad.
So, I will forgive you this time, but I expect more respect in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
Alles klar. Genau.
English actors, am I right? Oi. 2nd place, we have a beautiful attractive sewing kit. And this has saved me on this strange adventure many times because I'm getting big and all my costumes are ripping. But today I am passing it over into the hands of someone else who is very good at spinning, at least, if not sewing, Phoebe. There's an awful lot of spinning going on here. No,
It's Colonel Fairfax.
Oh, God.
He's doing his exercises on the kitchen tower.
Oh my, those shoulders.
Thank you for the sewing kit.
You're welcome.
I can make myself a nice dress to try and impress Colonel Fairfax.
Excellent. He likes pink. Use pink. And last, but not least, we have a half-finished bottle of honey, which anyone will tell you is the greatest gift anyone can give. And today I am very proud to be giving it to not only a fabulous role, but a member of a royal family. Allow me to present the Princess Ida to the stage. There she is. Hello.
Thank you for the honey.
You're very welcome.
And I'd like to clear up a misconception. I do not hate men. I simply hate the patriarchy.
Oh.
If you read the Tennyson poem, you'll know that I never intended to banish all men from the earth. I didn't intend to kill all men or anything.
I'm very glad.
I love men.
I'm glad to hear it.
But what is important is that we raise these girls who will vow never to marry a man, send them out into the world where they can be teachers, community leaders, etc., and imbue girls who may choose to marry men if they would like, and then carry on our progeny and pass on that message to their children. So I never intended the world to end. I never intended for no girls to ever marry men. That would be silly. I'm disappointed in you, Gilbert. I might change the end of your show. What do you think?
Well, people are doing that often enough already.
That's true.
Right, read more on her thesis on the Castle Adamant website.
So, just before we go into the best leading male roles, I'm going to run down the top 20 for you all. So, in 20th place, we have Patience. In 19th place, we have the aforementioned Colonel Fairfax. In 18th place, we have the soprano from the Mikado. What a cracking role that is. In 17th place, we have Josephine from HMS Pinafore. And in 16th place, we have Rose Maybud from Ruddigore. 15th place, we have Bunthorne from Patience. And 14th place, we have the lovely Elsie Maynard from The Omen of the Guard. Some of you eagle-eyed people may realise that I did sneakily decide that Julia does actually go above her. I was wrong, okay? In 13th place, we have Despard, and in 12th place, we have Margaret, so they come very close together. In 11th place, we have the tenor from the Mikado, another fantastic role with amazing music. In 9th place, we have Will's favourite, the Lord Chancellor. I think he's a great character, but I don't think his material quite matched up to the people on the list above him. And in 9th place, we have Robin O'Capple, also the Murgatroyd from Ruddigore. And in 8th place, we have the alto from the Mikado. So she has done very well, just missed out on getting one of those top 3 female spots. In 7th place, we have Julia from the Grand Duke. And in 6th place, we have Phoebe. And in 4th place, so this is the male role that just missed out on being in the top 3, we have Frederick from Pirates. What an amazing track that is. Lots of really high dramatic stakes, lots of very funny things to say, and probably the most comparative stage time to the rest of the opera. And in 4th place is the aforementioned Princess Ida, who came first in the female lead roles list. But now getting on to these 3 male leading roles, which of course are also just the 3 best leading roles, in my opinion. In 3rd place, from the Grand Duke, and winning this Ingvar Tay, is Ludwig, so he gets to share this with Julia.
Did I win?
Well, you came 3rd.
Oh, fabulous, look at this. Oh, this is going to be amazing, because we were needing some hot drinks for our wedding breakfast, but we need to get it over and done with quickly, because we're actually planning to oust the Grand Duke from his posture.
I haven't eaten a sausage roll yet. You've done it again, Ludwig!
Stay right there. Sausage roll! We need a sausage roll right now!
In 2nd place. I can totally see. In 2nd place, we have from the Yeoman of the Guard and winning this really, really good sewing kit, actually. This is a great sewing kit. I've done a lot with this over the course of this tour. Goes to Jack Point.
Oh, hello there. What we got here? Oh, that looks nice, isn't it? Haven't had a clean pair of pants in weeks. Oh, yes. Everything's great.
Isn't it interesting that that third and second place are both performers, Jack Point?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Everything is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Elsie's got herself a new husband.
Yeah.
And I've got a job. If I even mess up the slightest little bit, then my head gets cut off. So, yeah.
That sounds great, really. You've got it made. Now, everything's going to be all right, okay? Everything's going to be all right, unless it's not. In first place for best roles in the Gilbert and Sullivan operas, I have given to the Lord High Executioner from the Mikado.
Oh, what a lovely surprise!
And he wins this honey.
Well, I was hoping for a little more, but that'll do nicely.
You were hoping for more, were you?
Did you arrange these prizes?
Yeah, but we did make you Lord High Executioner.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes,
Yeah.
You did, didn't you?
And if anything goes wrong, it's you next.
You didn't need to say that. That was unnecessary.
No,
You're
right. You're right. I'm being overly cruel.
What's your name again?
It's Rachel GNS Middle.
Ah, yes.
Gilbert and Sullivan is my middle name. My middle name is my last name.
Is that G ampersand S or GNS?
Wherever you want to spell it.
I don't suppose there's many with that name.
Yeah. Am I going to come up in a song, perhaps?
We'll see. Yes.
If anyone wanted to write a little list song talking about all those people who pedantically rank GNS, I would like that.
Yeah,
that
well,
would make me laugh.
I'm sure I can fit you in somewhere.
I like to be roasted. So that is the best roles in the Gilbert and Sullivan operas. I hope that we provided you a little divertissement in the days leading up to New Year. I think Christmas has already happened at this point.
Now, I don't know if anyone out there was aware, but I was in no way prepared for that.
Nor was I, actually. No, look, this is how...
The difference is you are Rachel G&S Middle with a vast store of knowledge about this.
Yeah. But I think Dan did very well. Dan is only known, really, about GNS for about a year.
Roughly.
Like a bit longer on his periphery, but he didn't start really getting into it until about a year ago. And Dan is already quoting GNS in his everyday life.
Well, only occasionally. Only occasionally.
But not often.
Not orphan, no.
So we have been Dan GNS Cavendish and Rachel GNS Middle.
Still not married to that.
If we got married, why don't you just change your middle name and not your last name
I
to
like
GNS?
my middle name. My middle name is cool.
Can you tell everyone what your middle name is?
Horatio. Well, one of
It's good, isn't it? I like that is fair. Maybe I'll be Rachel Horatio GNS Middle.
Oh, double-barreled. Not sure. We'll workshop it.
I hope you enjoyed this video. We've only got one more now in the series. Maybe you can guess which opera is going to win by now. It might still be Thespis. We never know. We don't know how the maths is going to work out. But it's been really lovely making this video with you, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will see you next time, when I will be with my cats again.
Oh, there'll be cats, yes.
Yay!